The medical bay of the consortium Unity fell silent as Chief Medical Officer Zarthix watched the surveillance footage for the third time. His 4 eyes blinked in rapid succession, a sign of deep concern among his species. "This cannot be accurate," he muttered, his translator rendering the clicks and whistles into galactic standard. Beside him, Security Officer Krell leaned closer to the holographic display. "The timestamp is verified. The humans initiated this combat drill with the Vulcan Cubs approximately 1 standard hour ago in Recreation Bay 7. On the screen, chaos reigned. 2 human crew members, Adeline Martinez and Micah Chun, were engaged in what appeared to be brutal close-quarters combat with 3 Vulcan young. Fabric-covered projectiles flew through the air at alarming speeds. Bodies collided. The Cubs shrieked with what could only be interpreted as distress. "Freeze frame," Zarthix commanded. The image stopped on Adeline mid-swing, a pillow raised above her head like a war club, her face twisted in what his translation software labeled as aggressive determination. One of the Cubs was airborne, clearly struck by the human's assault. "I must report this to Captain Vaughn immediately," Zarthix said, his voice grave. "The humans have violated Protocol 7 Alpha, non-aggression with minor species. This is unprecedented." 15 minutes later, an emergency meeting convened in the conference room. Captain Vaughn, a distinguished Thalaxian with silver-scaled skin, sat at the head of the table. Around him gathered the ship's senior staff, their expressions ranging from confusion to outright alarm. "Explain," Captain Vaughn said simply, his gaze fixed on the medical officer. "ZAR, single quotes IX activated the holographic projector. The footage played again the whirlwind of feathers, the impacts, the screaming Cubs, and the humans' relentless assault. As you can see, Captain, this appears to be some form of human combat training. What concerns me most is that they've involved the Vulcan Cubs. Ambassador Thrix entrusted us with her children during this diplomatic voyage. If she discovers wait," interrupted Lieutenant Yusa, the ship's xenopsychologist. Her antennae twitched thoughtfully. "Play it again." Slowly, the footage replayed at quarter speed. This time, details emerged that had been lost in the frenzy. The Cubs weren't fleeing, they were charging. The weapons were clearly soft, fabric-encased objects. And when Micah took a direct hit to the face from the smallest Cub, the slow motion revealed something unexpected. He was smiling. "That's not aggression," Yusa said softly. "That's joy." Zarthix's medical sensibilities rebelled at the notion. "Lieutenant, I've treated 37 species for combat injuries. I know what violence looks like. You know what violence looks like in your species," Yusa corrected gently. "Doctor, have you ever studied human recreational behavior?" Before Zarthix could respond, the door chimed. Captain Vaughn granted entry, and Adeline walked in, still slightly out of breath, a few feathers stuck in her dark hair. Behind her, Micah carried the 3 Vulcan Cubs, who were purring contentedly, a sound that indicated supreme satisfaction in their species. "Captain, you wanted to see us?" Adeline asked, then noticed the frozen hologram of herself mid. Her eyes widened. Oh no." You thought she looked at Micah, and despite the gravity of the situation, both humans started laughing. "This is hardly a laughing matter," Zarthix began, but the smallest Vulcan Cub, barely 4 years old in human terms, squirmed out of Micah's arms and bounded to the doctor. "Dr. Z, did you see? The Cub's translator struggled with the excited yip. "The humans taught us pillow fighting. It was amazing. I defeated Adeline twice." The room fell silent. Captain Vaughn leaned forward. "Micah Chen, explain what we witnessed." Micah set down the other 2 Cubs, who immediately began chattering excitedly about their victory count. "Sir, it's called a pillow fight. It's a human recreational activity, usually done by children. The Cubs were feeling homesick, so we thought we'd show them how human kids play. But the violence," Zarthix protested. "It's not violence," Dr. Adeline interjected gently. "The pillows are soft, full of feathers or synthetic materials. The whole point is that no one gets hurt. It's about fun, laughter, and burning off energy. Look at the Cubs there, fine, better than fine." Indeed, the 3 Vulcan younglings were practically vibrating with happiness, already begging Micah and Adeline for another round. Lieutenant Yusa pulled up her datapad, scrolling through files. "I should have caught this earlier. Humans have dozens of play-fighting activities. Pillow fights, wrestling, tag, even snowball fights in frozen precipitation. It's how their young develop spatial awareness, social bonds, and yes, non-lethal combat reflexes. But the key is consent, rules, and safety." Zarthix's chromatic sax flushed blue with embarrassment. "I apologize. In Threen culture, any form of striking, even in play, is considered barbaric. I projected my species norms onto human behavior. No harm done, Doctor, Micah said with an easy smile. Though I have to ask, if you thought we were actually hurting them, why did it take you an hour to intervene? The doctor shifted uncomfortably. I was preparing a comprehensive medical response plan and documenting everything. Captain Vaughn made a sound that his translator rendered as a chuckle. Let this be a lesson to all of us. Humans are ... unique. What appears violent may be joyful. What seems reckless may be calculated. Before we judge, we must understand. He turned to Adeline and Micah. That said, perhaps a warning next time before you turn our recreation bay into what looked like a battlefield. Absolutely, Captain, Adeline agreed, trying to suppress another smile. As the meeting adjourned, Zarthix approached the humans quietly. I have a question. Why teach them this? Why not something less chaotic? Micah knelt down, ruffling the fur of the nearest cub, who giggled. Because, Doctor, sometimes the best medicine isn't found in a medical bay. It's found in laughter, in play, in moments of pure, uncomplicated joy. We humans learned that a long time ago, Adeline added. Besides, you should see what happens when humans have water balloon fights. Now that looks like warfare. Zarthix's eyes widened in horror. There are more of these activities. The humans' laughter echoed down the corridor as they led the cubs back to the recreation bay, already planning the next training session. Behind them, Lieutenant Yusa made a note in her log. Note to self. Update Zenup Psychology Database. Human definition of play requires extensive documentation. Also, order more pillows. In the vastness of space, aboard a ship filled with dozens of species, a simple pillow fight had become a bridge between cultures. A reminder that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their tactics, but their ability to find joy in the simplest things, and to share it freely with others, even if it occasionally terrified the medical staff. The end.